Malign portents. Destruction rising. Snazgar Stinkmullet muttered gibberish to reassure himself as he hobbled through the dark, algae-slicked guts of One Tooth Mountain. Ever since he had passed the huge gaping maw of the cave, with its jagged stalactites and jutting stalagmites, he had harboured the distinct feeling that he had been swallowed whole. Now his shortcut to power wound through the labyrinth tunnels that, according to legend, led to the darkest underworld of all. His growing feeling of dread was reinforced with every new tunnel and crawl hole he felt his way along. He was in the belly of the great stone beast, and the only way out was down. The shaman chuckled to himself as he splashed through brackish brown streams.
Where there's water, there's fungus,
he thought, and what beauties this horrible hole would yield. He could well believe that old Magus was right, and in the pitch-black darkness he would find the greatest bounty an old shroom mage could ask for. Tap 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 went Snazgar's staff, swinging side to side as his surroundings became ever darker and ever more dismal. He had already been wandering down here for days, and midnight, when he would be able to get the most out of his prize, should he find it, was rapidly approaching. Better not sleep, he thought. Better make it count, and find them before he fell off the edge of an abyss, or into the lair of some subterranean predator. Every moment he expected to feel the bear-trap jaws of a cave squig, ending his not-so-promising career as a shaman forevermore. Then, with a delightful squelch, Snazgar's long-nailed foot found something spongy and disgusting. The shaman sniffed the air, eyes screwed up tight despite the fact it was as dark as a necromancer's heart. There was something there, under an overpoweringly rank smell reminiscent of Squigbat's bottom. Yes, a faint scent of spores. Snazgar gave a nasty giggle, pulling a tinderbox from his robes and lighting a bit of parchment he had robbed from the still, warm corpse of a Free Guild messenger. The paper illuminated a charnel scene, the bodies of 100 half-eaten grots scattered around the green-grey gullet of a tunnel. Sprouting from the corpses were clusters of large, plate-like mushrooms, each with a marking atop that looked not entirely unlike a grinning skull. Death caps. Thousands of them. Snazgar cawed and punched the air, making obscene gestures and dancing round until his fiery parchment burnt out. Suddenly sobered, he broke off part of the nearest mushroom cluster from a bloated corpse and gobbled it down. It tasted truly foul, sitting in his stomach like bad meat. He waited for a moment before eating another few mushrooms, just in case the first had been a duff batch. A vision of mind-blasting potency blossomed within Snazgar's mind. Legions of armoured skeletons marched across dunes made entirely of greenskin corpses, each with a different state of decomposition. Witchlight glowed in fleshless skulls as long-dead warriors hacked down tribes of Orruk, falling upon their encampments in the dead of night, even as hungry ghouls feasted on the bloodless corpses of their grot sentries. Pillared vaults at the heart of an overgrown temple slid open to reveal divine treasures and the horrific sentinels that guarded it. The skies blackened with bats, blotting out a moon that splattered with rains of dark gore across the land. Snazgar shuddered, his eyes rolling back in his head. In his mind's eye, hideous pale knights charged with their lances lowered against the finest boar riders of the Orruk tribes, spitting them through in explosions of violence. All the while, a massive triangular shape loomed in the far distance, its baleful ammunition sending shamans stark staring mad as they gobbled down more and more mushrooms in a desperate attempt to fight back with the god-given cunning of Mork. Everywhere, the pitted, rusted blades of the undead clashed with the cleavers and axes of the greenskins, and in every flashing vision, The tribes were slaughtered, hacked to pieces, flung back before counter-attacking in brutal wargs that were almost certainly doomed from the moment they began. Then, at last, a measure of lucidity descended on Snazgar as the vision began to wear off.
Blamanack!
He spluttered through a mouthful of vomit. A broad grin split Snazgar's face as the implications dawned on him. He got to his feet, filled his stealing pouch to the brim with death caps, and cackled as he began the long journey back.
Just wait till I tell the lads.